Okay, so we are seeing Shaurya's game against an advanced student, Kavish from advanced. Shaurya is black, Kavish is white. So the opening is pretty much normal. So basically, knight. Okay, knight f3. Right now, let's focus here, Aryan. So knight out, and we have the Italian by Kavish. And Shaurya responds with the Joko piano, bishop c5. And here, what move should white play, guys? Yeah, to get an advantage in the opening, c3 d4 or c3 d3 is required. But many people just play knight c3 and they get a very boring position, which is not good. Anyway, castling was done by Kavish. It's okay. The problem is now knight f6 will come and you won't get time. There's no gambit here. There's no gambit in this position. You still haven't learned it properly, that means. So when are you going to learn it? You fell to it in a tournament. I showed it to you in the video and on the board, and now you're telling me this is where the gambit happens. So you haven't learned it properly then. So this is not the place where the gambit happens. After castles, the problem is now knight f6. There is no time to play c3. The pawn will be hanging. So castling is not a good move. c3, d3 was required before castling. What Aryan is saying is, before castling.
No, after castling only.
After castling, there is no gambit, Aryan. First, if you do not know, first listen. You're still telling the same thing again and again. There is no gambit after castling. The gambit you're talking about is this. After castling, what will knight e4 do? We'll just take the pawn on e5. That is not gambit. Hello, Abhinav. Our new intermediate student who just got promoted. Congratulations, Abhinav. Yeah, the youngest intermediate student. Okay, he is just 7 years old. Okay. Now let's focus here. So let's focus here now. Silence, please. So this is called the Blackburn Shilling Gambit.
Sir, I played it.
Now, if this happens, you have to know as white how to react, because otherwise you might get into a lot of trouble. So let me ask how many of you know how to deal with this? Okay. Let's ask Rayanshman. What will you play here for white?
Sir, I'll take the knight.
You will take the knight. How many of you want to take the free pawn?
Me.
Okay. So if you take the free pawn,
It'll become.
what will black do, Aryan Agarwal?
Queen to g5.
Yeah. Now, Rudransh, what will you do for white?
Sir, pawn to d3.
Can I just take your knight instead?
Sir,
Yes, Veer Vikram.
if knight takes pawn.
Yeah, you have knight takes pawn. That's the most logical thing to do, because if you don't do that, you're anyway losing the knight. But now, let me ask Ashvik, what will you do for black?
So take the pawn on g2.
Yeah, queen takes g2. Rook has to move, right? So rook f1. Now, let me ask Praneeth, what's the next move for black? I mean, you don't know this opening, but still, you can try to find out.
Queen takes pawn on e4.
Yeah. And now, let me ask, a bishop will block. So, let me ask Aryan Khanna, what will you do next for black? Please keep your hands down, Aryan Agarwal. I'm asking one person. What will you play for black in this position, Aryan? Abhinav, try to focus in the class. You are now with a tougher set of players. If you don't focus, you will not improve.
Knight to f3.
Yeah, checkmate. So this is called the Blackburn Shilling Gambit. That's what Aryan is saying. Gambit. This is where it happens.
No, that one. I'm Italian gambit also.
What Italian gambit? Okay, let's go back. So anyway, so this is the gambit you should not fall into. So like Rayan said, just 1 second. So like Rayan said, in that position, instead of Rudransh's knight takes pawn, which is a blunder, you should just play knight takes knight, pawn takes, and it's a good position for white. Yes, Ashwin.
So if you take the pawn and then the queen goes to g5, and then what if the bishop takes the pawn instead of the knight?
Then the king moves, nothing happens. Your knight is still hanging and g2 is still hanging. Bishop will also be hanging. So e4, e5, knight out. This is where black has the option of Blackburn Shilling Gambit, but it's a bad opening for black, because after knight d4, white will just take it. And after pawn takes, the pawn structure is better for white. It's more comfortable for white. So that's not good for black. In the game, Shaurya played bishop c5. And now, castling by Kavish. And here, Shaurya played knight d4. So he confused himself with, I don't know. Did you know the opening, the gambit before? We just played it. Okay. So he didn't play it as a gambit. Here, white can just take the pawn. Please have a seat, Adar. Please give space. You can sit there next to Abhinav. If you have space here, you can. Abhinav can sit forward. You won't be able to see if you sit back. You can come forward. Any of you want to go back? Or you can move a little that side. Okay. So here, it is a free pawn. So this is not a good move. Knight d4 is not a good move because you lose the pawn. There's no queen g5 or king is already defending g2. So there's no gambit there. So here Kavish did not take the pawn. He played c3. Attacking the knight and knight took the knight. Queen takes back.
He's trying to go for the center.
Yeah, so it's now very comfortable for white. Yeah.
I made it there.
Yeah,
But you
so
can
black
take
has to
it
play.
out.
Black has to play.
Knight to f6.
Yeah, and Shaurya played it. Of course, he's not going to allow checkmate. Now let's stop for a moment. We know that this position is good for white because black is wasted. Shaurya has wasted 2 moves just to exchange of the knight, helping the queen come out. So white is in a better position. How can you take advantage of this? What should white do next? White has a very good move here. Let's see who can find it. Yes, Rayansh.
D4.
D4, I take it.
And then I take back.
I take your pawn. So why are you giving up a pawn for free? You didn't think it through. Without calculation, without proper calculation, you cannot make a move, Rayansh. So others, yes, Ashvik.
Queen to G3.
Queen to G3, huh? Just castle. You'll take the pawn yourself. Okay, Queen G3. You're attacking both the pawns. That's interesting. So I'll have to castle and you'll take the pawn. Then I'll play rook e1, rook e8, and I'll get back the pawn.
We'll take the bishop.
Oh, bishop is also hanging. Okay, so Queen G3 is a good move. Something even better. Who can find it? Queen G3 wins a pawn, but there is a much stronger move here in the position because white's pieces are active. Yes, Rudransh.
Sir, pawn to b4.
B4 I just move the bishop. It doesn't do anything. No, you're just kicking the bishop. Bishop goes in the same diagonal. Yes, Pranit.
d3.
D3 opening up the bishop. That's a normal move. It's not like it will give any advantage. It's just continuing the position. Rayansh already got his chance. Others, those who didn't get a chance. What's the move that will take the game into white's hands?
I'm not sure, sir.
The move, yes, Athar.
Queen to F5.
Queen to F5. What is that? You're attacking the pawn. I'll play D6. Attacking your queen. That's a bad move. Don't waste your queen moves just like that. Don't run around with the queen. Ashvik's move was also running around with the queen, but at least it got a pawn. That way it was okay. The movers.
So at least instead of playing the pawn to d6, he could have played pawn to d5.
Then he will take the pawn, na? E5 pawn. He's attacking E5 pawn. If you don't defend it, you lose the pawn. Na? Yes, Aryan.
Bishop to f7.
King takes it.
If I think I will go.
So you'll give up a bishop just to stop him from castling. That is a bad move. That's a blunder. Don't give up your piece just to stop castling. You have to have some attack. There should be some reason for doing that, not just stopping castling. That's not worth the piece. Castling is not worth the piece. This is not good. The movers, D4. And after, just playing D4 is not going to be enough. So after pawn takes, E5. That you have to see. You win a piece. Because the knight can't move. The knight moves its mate. So when you have such an active position and you already have C3, you have to think about D4. Anyway, so it was not easy for Kavish to do it, but it was possible. I would expect an advanced student to find D4, but he didn't find it. He played rook e1. And Shaurya got to castle. Shaurya is kind of okay.
No, Queen to G3, then he can push the pawn, then he can play bishop to F6.
But Queen G3, I'll just play pawn D6, and then he push the pawn, I'll play King H8. So this is something everybody tries. This bishop coming to H6. It's not going to work. It's just wasting a move for the queen because black will just move the king. Then there's no point of the queen here. It just stuck there doing nothing. More important is developing your pieces. Yes. Very well.
Only if you have an unsuspecting opponent, then you can.
But you don't know if the opponent will play King H8 or not. So it's better not to try this just to make a threat because you're wasting moves with the queen.
One more, if we play that, the knight can come to h5 also.
Then queen can come to G4 attacking the knight. The best move is just King H8. Knight H5 is the last chance to defend. There is King H8, of course King H8 is the easiest thing to do. Anyway, so here Ashvik should probably play. Sorry, not Ashvik, sorry. Who was white? Kavish. Kavish should probably play pawn D3 and start developing his pieces. He plays queen D1.
What?
He wants to bring back the queen.
So that it won't be.
Why? What does he want?
I was giving black a hand.
Yeah, free move. So what should Shaurya do here? Shaurya got a chance to like...
So he probably wants to push the pawn.
Yeah, now he wants to play d4. That's what Kavish wants, correct. So what should Shaurya do?
Move my bishop.
Move the bishop. But anyway, I'll play d4.
Sir, d5.
Yeah, D5.
d5 is not a free pawn? d5 is a good move. Yeah. d5 is the best move in the position. So Shaurya has to take the game into his hands and go for the sender. Because if you allow this, then white has a great position. So he allowed it by playing d6. Did Shaurya. And now, of course, Kavish played d4, and again the position is good for Kavish. So takes. So here it's better to go back, because at least you have some control of the sender. But after takes, you have lost full control of the sender. Now Kavish is in a great position. The bishop came to b4, bishop d2, takes, and takes with the queen. No, knight takes also fine. Both are good, because it's bringing out your knight, na? But okay, rook e8, making a threat to the pawn. Now knight c3. The position is just perfect for white. This is like the dream position out of the opening that we learned. Like you have the sender, all the pieces are active, everything is perfect for white. And
So
here,
Kavish should do a rook lift now.
rook e3.
Yeah.
Now first bring the last piece into the game. Here you
Yeah,
can
after
even...
rook e3, then you can push, make the rook go to e1. Then you can make it like go. Then you can make the e1 e3 rook.
You want to bring it to g3.
Or g.
h3 is a blunder, don't do that.
So
So rook
H3.
e3, rook g3 is what Ashwik is saying. And then queen g5. That's one plan. The other plan is just to move the queen out of the way and play e5. If you directly play e5, queens will be exchanged.
So wait, you said g5, why not the g6? Because they're spinning the.
After rook g3, how will queen go to g6? I mean here, queen g5.
Sir. But
After rook e3, rook g3, you need a queen also to come, na? So queen g5.
Sir, but you can play king g6. It's the pawn is pinned to the king, right?
How will you go from here to g6? You have to first go to
Oh,
g5, na?
h6.
h6, okay, h6, yeah, that's good. That's also good. Yeah, both are like you bring the queen and it's good. So it's a good plan. Rook e3, rook g3, and queen in. The other one is just moving the queen out of this and play e5, like queen f4 or queen g5 and then e5. But all these are possible because white has got a great position. Let's see what Kavish chooses. Kavish brings his rook into the game. He's kind of preparing e5 so that after takes he can take back. And Shaurya brings his bishop to g4, attacking the rook. Kavish attacks the bishop and bishop goes back.
Wow.
Now should Kavish play e5? Is it time to play e5? Let's ask Aryan Khanna. Would you play e5 here, Aryan?
No.
Because the bishop is hanging. So what should we do first? Yes, Aryan.
D5.
D5, huh? D5 keeping a nice pawn structure, but also blocking your bishop completely. Because it's like a brick wall and your bishop is a light square bishop. So you want your bishop to have something or at least exchange it off. So bishop d3 makes sense here actually, then e5, giving a nice diagonal. Exchanging also is fine, but he goes for that. Takes, and still Kavish has a choice between d5 and e5. Now d5 makes more sense because you're getting more space and there's no bishop. So it will be a nice pawn chain. e5 is also fine. He goes for e5.
So it's better actually because if you go for d5, then rook can just go to e5.
Then we'll keep rolling f4. The pawns will just start rolling down.
Then rook to h5.
One piece alone there is not going to create any problem. Queen is not able to come, na? So d5 is okay, but okay. e5 was chosen. Takes. Queen exchange by Shaurya. And we have a rook and knight endgame. The knight is attacked. So Shaurya saves the knight by going back. So who is better in this position, Abhinav? Do you like white or do you like black?
So I like white.
Yeah, because white has got more active pieces. Black's pieces are not yet active. And white has a little more control of the center. Center is not important right now. It's an endgame, but pieces are active. So now Kavish goes knight d5, poking the pawn. But it's defended, so Shaurya correctly moves it back and moves the pawn. Now let's ask Praneeth Shegar. What will you do with your knight, Praneeth? decide. Oh, you're calculating. What are you calculating?
So I'll play knight to d4.
Knight to d4. How many of you will play knight d4? Okay, those who are not raising hand, like four of you. What will you guys play?
Knight to d6.
Knight to d6 is not a good move.
Why not, Praneeth?
So if you play knight to d6,
Huh.
I'll take the knight
With knight.
and then I'll take
Rook will take.
rook will take.
So
Then someone what?
you thought pawn will take and rook will take the rook. No. So it is fine. I mean, I would actually consider this seriously because you're getting a pawn on the 6th rank, a passed pawn on the 6th rank. If knight takes, rook takes, pawn takes, it's a passed pawn on the 6th rank. It's a little weak, so I wouldn't play it. I would still play knight d4 actually. But knight d6 is a serious move to consider as well. Both are fine, but just because after takes, rook d8, the pawn is weak, you will have to defend it. That's why I don't prefer it that much. So knight d4 was chosen by Kavish. The rook moves back to e7, and here Kavish plays slightly bad move, inactivating his rook.
He can play. He should have played e6.
E6. E6 is there, but better. Knight f5. Rook moves. Get your rook in. These are like easy moves for white to play. Get the rook to the 7th rank. That's how you win games, no? When you've got such a nice position, don't go for exchanges. Try to take advantage of your active pieces. Focus on pieces. Pawns can't do anything there. So knight f5, rook moves, rook d7, and white's almost winning. Because now next rook can also come in after the pawn gets defended. But instead, Kavish went for this move. Slightly making the rooks passive. He's basically going for the pawn push. But if he wanted to push the pawn, he could have done it directly without making his rook inactive. So he goes there, and now Shaurya brings his knight back, kind of stopping e6. Should white go e6 in this position? Let's ask Veer Vikram. Would you suggest this move for white?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many of you want to play e6? Only 3 people. 4 people. Okay, when you're deciding, I'm going to decide without checking who's raising hand. You decide your move and raise your hand. If nobody else is also doing it, it's fine. Don't go by others' choices. So let me ask Athar, what will you play here, Athar?
E6.
Huh? Then why did you raise hand?
Huh?
You didn't raise your hand when I asked how many of you want to play e6?
I heard that.
Vihan Agarwal, what will you play here?
Knight to f5.
Okay, Ashvik.
Yeah,
Okay, how many of you want to play knight f5? Okay, Praneeth, what will you play?
so I'll play e6.
You play e6, okay.
So
So
knight
I would
f5
still say knight f5 is the better
Yes,
choice.
sir, I too.
Why, sir?
Because your piece is becoming active. You're activating your piece with a threat.
But sir, let's say I play e6.
I'll take it with the pawn.
Pawn. I take it back with the
Knight. I'll take your knight with the knight.
I take the rook.
I'll take your rook with the rook. And you'll take
your-
back.
Yeah, so wouldn't my rook be on the 7th file?
6th rank. You're only reaching 6, not 7th. You're here. So you're basically cleaning off everything off the board. You're exchanging off 2 pieces, just like that. It doesn't make your position better. It just makes it a very dry rook endgame. 1 rook each. Yes, your rook is on the open file, but king will come to f7. You'll have to move away and then his rook comes in. It will be completely equal. So that's why keep the tension. Don't remove the tension by like exchanging of everything. When you have an advantage, keep the tension, put pressure. Knight f5 is the best move here. Because the knight can come to d6 and sit there, great square. And then the rooks can come, then the pawn can push. So in the game, Kavish made a mistake here by going pawn to e6. And now it's completely equal because after takes, rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Completely equal endgame. There is a slight imbalance. What's the difference in the position? What's the main difference in the position? Yes, Aryan?
Black rook is not developed.
That I can do in one move. That's not a big difference. I can do it in one move itself. No? But the main difference.
2 pawns here.
Yeah, there's a majority for black on the queen side, 3 versus 2. And white is a majority on the king side. Queen side majority is actually a bit more useful because the white king will have to travel all this way to stop these pawns if it becomes a pass pawn. If one of these becomes a pass pawn, king will have to come a long way to stop it. Generally. And here, even if you create a pass pawn, king is already there. So that's why queen side majority is more useful than a king side majority. But here it's rook endgame. So it's basically equal. Now, what did Shaurya do? Shaurya activated his rook which is good, but king f7 was also a good choice. And here white should consider rook e7.
Yeah.
But Kavish played king f2. But now Shaurya came with the rook. Kavish cannot allow the pawns to be taken, so he blocked it. And now is going to the endgame bad for black or good for black?
Good
Or
for
equal?
black. Good
Okay.
for black.
Good, bad or equal? Good says two people.
Bad, good, equal.
How many of you are saying it is equal? Like the endgame was just equal, pawn and game. How many of you are saying white is better in the pawn and game? Okay, how many of you are saying black is better in the pawn and game? Okay, so it's like equal numbers for all three. So rook takes, king f7. White king will be one step ahead. But is it enough to win? I wouldn't think so. It's just an equal pawn and
So
game.
you say that in the queen side, the side travel.
But here just same thing. Like if you travel that side, like let's say white king goes this side. No, you're saying that after the exchange of rooks in the pawn and game, this majority will be useful. Yeah, but white king is already here. He doesn't have to travel that much to stop. He'll be around in this side. He'll be actually one step ahead of black. So that is why I wouldn't go for the endgame here as Shaurya. So Shaurya also didn't go to the endgame. He went back. And now Kavish wants to bring his rook back here, but then again check will come. So Kavish first plays king e1. Now king f7 by Shaurya, good, activating the king. Rook comes to e4. That's the best place for the rook yet. And now Shaurya decided to exchange of the rooks. Is this a blunder? Again eating the pencil is Veer Vikram. Is this a blunder? Let's ask everybody. Try to make a decision here. Did Shaurya just make a game-losing blunder in this position? Take your time to think. If you don't want to think, let others think. No need to raise hands. Calculate the pawn and game, at least 2-3 moves ahead, and then make the decision. Okay, how many of you are saying it is a mistake or a blunder to go rook e8? Only 2 people, 3 people. Other was still looking here, there. If somebody else is there, then I'll raise hand. Otherwise, I won't. Then you were looking there and you were not raising a hand. By looking at Aryan, is it?
No.
Okay. How many of you want to? How many of you are saying this is okay? This is an okay move. Okay. So others, what are you saying?
Okay.
Okay.
Good move.
So you can calculate it a little ahead. Rook takes, king comes up, king e3, king e6, king e4. White king will be more active.
It's a pawn or there's a okay.
There's no pawn we are taking, na? We are making the king go back. So white king will be here, black king will be here. So white king will be more active, but white king cannot. What opposition? After opposing, what will you do? You can't like go ahead, na? Because black pawns are also there. So if you come this side, the other king will also come this side. So even though you will have more active king, it would still be equal, but it's taking a risk playing this move. So this is a big risk. Going into a pawn game with your opponent king so active. So here, it was better to just stay in the file. Just bring the rook here, start pushing your pawns. The rook in game is easy to draw. But he went for this, and Kavish has to take. So this happened, takes, king e2, king e7, king d3, king d6, king d4. So instead of e4, the white king has come to d4. Does it make a difference? White is still better, right? What do you think? Yes, Pranit.
So if you go
C5 pawn, where will the white king move?
it will probably go to e4.
E4. So c5 was played by Shaurya.
c4.
C4, king c6 and b5 will come. So it's better to go to e4. So it's still equal. Yes, white is still, it feels like white has got a more active king. But white can't really go there. It would be winning if white can just go there and pick up one pawn fast. But if he starts going there, then there will be pass pawn here very fast. All black needs is b5, c4, b4, c3. And black wins. So king cannot leave this side. So that is why it's still not winning for white. But that's what Kavish should have done, king e4. In the game, Kavish takes a step in the wrong direction by going back. Now the advantage is gone. It's black who has the advantage, not a winning advantage. Black is the one with the more active king because Shaurya takes it. King f4.
No, I see the opposition happened.
Yeah, king d5. Yeah.
Opposition.
Opposition doesn't matter here, Pranit. Opposition is to go ahead now with the king.
Yeah.
So even if you take the opposition, now what will you do? There are so many pawns. So white will keep pushing pawns till a certain point. Opposition is when there's one pawn, that's when it matters. Or if the king wants to go ahead. Here it's not like king can go ahead anyway because there will be pawns here, nowhere to go ahead. So king e4, king d5, and here, no, he didn't play king d5. He first played b5, which is also fine because this is anyway going to happen. He's covering the c4 square. So king d3, b5, and now pawn d3.
So why not e4, king e4?
King e4 is there, yeah. But if you go king e4, then c4 will come.
Yes.
Like soon there will be pass pawn and you'll have to come back and black will win. So he stays there, b3,
So it's
and now black is in a better position.
Of course.
King d5, king c3. Now you can take some time to think. This is now a very good position for black. If you take your time and understand it properly, you will be able to win. So try to find out how to continue for black. Okay, how many of you decided? Yes, Rudransh.
Sir, pawn to b4.
Pawn to b4. Abhinav, what will you play?
Pawn to b4.
Okay, how many of you want to play pawn b4? Okay, others, what do you want to play? Aryan? Huh?
Pawn to b4.
Okay, so those who didn't raise hand for b4, what do you want to play? Shaurya?
a5.
a5. How many of you want to play a5? Ashwik also wants a5. Any other moves, anyone?
No.
Okay, so b4 or a4, right?
A5.
B4 or a5. Okay. Nobody is considering c4. That's the most important move to consider, guys. You have to create a pass pawn. No? It's not like you want to stay there locked. You want to make a pass pawn.
So, but what
So-
if c4, then we push?
Then you already have a pass pawn sitting there protected. What more do you want in the position? Once you get a pass pawn, it's an easy win. How is it an easy win? Who can explain how to win this position, guys?
So just don't take and just make a waiting move.
Yeah, just slowly come with the king. Just slowly come with the king. Do whatever you want. Viking cannot touch any of these pawns. So once you allow a protected pass pawn, the game is over.
So if you take the c4 pawn,
If you take the pawn, then I'll take back and I'll have a pass pawn.
sir,
So you will have to stay there to babysit the pawn.
you have to make that square.
Square?
The square formula, like around the pawn.
No, but king is right there inside below the pawn. Why do you need the square to
So he
understand
just
that?
needs
It's not like he has to travel. He's already there. So takes. Viking is there, but black king is also there, but Viking is stuck.
Sir, but for white, you don't need to even take the pawn or push it. You can just like make a waiting.
Then I'll take, you will take, and then I'll have to create another pass pawn here, which I will do. So after takes, I'll play a5. Then that pass pawn will be on the outside, which will be easily winning for black, because your king will have to go to the side, which means your king will be away from the center. So the best option is to take, but even then black will have a pass pawn. So c4 is a very important move to consider. I'm not saying b4 is bad. a5 is also good, but c4 is what I would seriously consider here. I would play c4. b4 is also fine. b4 was played.
So after a5, then you can play c4.
After a5, next he can play c4, yeah, but then there's no need to waste a move. No? Anyway, he plays b4, does Shaurya. King went to d3. Now Shaurya plays a5. And now if you are white, what will you do here? You have a slightly worse position. It's not lost probably, but how will you continue this position? Let's see who can find the correct move here. If you decide in 10 seconds, it's usually the wrong decision. So when will you understand this, Aryan Khanna? You're deciding everything in 5-10 seconds. Take your time to understand the position. So now you see the problem of this b4. You're not able to create any pass pawn. a4 is not there, c4 is not there, so you're like stuck because of this b4. Okay, how many of you have decided? Let's start with Rayansh Manna.
Sir, king c3.
King c3 is into the mouth of the pawn, they'll call the arbiter.
c2.
King c2, allowing the black king to come even further down. Then the game is gone. To at least hold your ground. If you make your opponent king active, he'll win. Na? Okay, Atar.
A4.
a4, I take.
No, I thought it was whites.
With white, you'll play a4. That's even more blunderish. That's a bigger blunder to play a4.
Yeah, sir.
Black will just take, mister. You cannot forget a rule of chess. Completely missing 1%. Okay, Shaurya, what will you suggest for black?
Sir, I will suggest to move the pawn to
Sir,
c.
how is it 1%? Sir, he just didn't play two more. He just.
This is not 2 steps, is it?
Oh, yeah, right.
What do you say? Yes,
So
Shaurya.
pawn to c.
Black to c4. I take it.
So then we move a king to c5.
Okay, so you're giving up the pawn, right? But are you getting it back? Is that why you're giving it?
Yes, sir, I can get that pawn.
Which pawn?
The pawn on a
This pawn? How will you get
by
this pawn?
moving my pawns.
Yeah, A4.
Oh, you're like, okay, so after takes, king c5, you're saying you'll play a4, b3.
The king will arrive by that time, right?
Huh, but his king will be more active and he'll be going that side to win. So that is possible.
So I was like, I think I can just make a waiting move while playing with
Find a
6.
move for black.
No, one second, let's go back. Where were we? Yeah, it was for white. The question was for white.
Exactly. So I
Yeah,
said
it was-
G4.
One second. Where were we? King was here. White pawn was here.
And yeah, I was
Yeah, this
wondering
was the
why we were
position.
discussing
Yeah, I was
black.
asking for white, but then I got confused with Adar's decision. Now, Shaurya was saying for black. This is white's turn. I was asking white's turn.
G4.
Okay, Praneeth
G4.
Shaikh. G4. Okay, what's the idea?
So I have to play a waiting move here because if I move my pawn anywhere at this point of time towards this side,
Huh.
it will be beneficial for black. But
Then
now
you
first
only
time-
have this pawn to
Yeah,
move. If you
it's
move it, you
for
lose. Yeah. So you just make moves there. Waiting moves, you're saying. Okay, Ashvik.
Same only.
G4. Okay, how many of you want to play G4? Okay. Any other move, anyone? That those who decided? Those who didn't raise hand for G4, what move do you want to play? Those who didn't raise hand, they don't want to play a move. What do you do? Can you keep the pieces down, Praneeth?
Can I sit up my legs spinning?
Down, keep the pieces down. Yeah, okay, alright. So, most people want to play G4 and Kavish played G4. G4 is the last mistake in this game, and after this, Kavish is lost.
Which is sure that will work.
No, everyone wanted G4. I don't know why you are attracted to G4 so much. But
After
no, first understand why is it a mistake instead of going for other moves. What about? Why is G4 bad? You played a blunder. Try to understand why is it a blunder no, first before going for the next move. So why is this bad?
So after g4 you will play pawn to a4.
A4 is there, but how does it make G4 a blunder? It's not like you can stop A4.
King
A4.
E5.
Huh? King E5 then King
No,
C4.
that's- Okay. C4.
Huh? So black C4. No, then how does they make this move a blunder? C4 anyway would have happened. It's not like white could have stopped C4. But I'm saying this move is a blunder. Because black plays G5 and kills your pawn majority. Now your 3 pawns are like 2 pawns. You can't push any of the pawns. So these 2 pawns are enough for these 3. So you've killed your pawn majority on this side by playing G5. Instead of that, by playing G4. Instead of that, what should white have done here?
H4.
H4 is there, but where are you going to get the pass pawn? F4. So you have to think the bigger picture. Now, where are you going to create a pass pawn? So it's not about waiting moves. You have to get your play here. Black is going to create a pass pawn here. So if you don't have a pass pawn, you're just going to lose the game. So you have to create a pass pawn here. And how do you do that? F4, G4, F5, G5, F6. That's the only way to make a pass pawn. So you have to start now with F4. That stops G5 also. But instead, Kavish made this mistake of G4 and Shaurya played G5 and now Shaurya is winning. Shaurya has many ways to win this. He can go for A4, takes and C4. That's one plan. He can go for C4, takes and King C5. That's another way to win. So let's see what he chooses. Kavish plays H4. Full desperate move. What happens if H3? How can black win after H3?
So
Veer Vikram has moved on to the eraser now after eating the pencil. Yes, what will you play for black?
Sir, his main course is editor.
Huh?
His main course is editor.
Okay. So how will Shaurya win this, guys? If Kavish did not go berserk and played a waiting move, how would Shaurya have continued? Let's ask Shaurya the man himself. Can you leave the clock alone, Athar? How would you want this, Shaurya?
Sir, I would move my pawn to c4.
C4, you're still going to play C4. I take, you'll play King C5. So you'll get back the pawn. Will you? Sure? Okay, there's no pawn moves for white. If white touches, who's playing? Praneeth. If white touches the pawn, black will take it and black will promote.
Yeah.
So this is winning. A little bit of calculation is required, but it's not difficult to win this. So in the game, Kavish made it easy for Shaurya by playing H4. Yeah. So now let's ask Praneeth Kulkarni. What will you do for black here, Praneeth? How are you going to win? Take. No worries. No, you just take. Abhinav, what do you say? What will black do here? Take. Yeah, Kavish is outright blunder. He probably thought he has to create a pass pawn fast, but he forgot that black will promote first. So after takes, he started pushing his pawns, but too late. Shaurya has to just push his one pawn. Kavish has to push the f pawn, but king is anyway there and it's too slow.
Unexpected ending.
Yeah, g5, h2. How is it unexpected? The king was already active. Black was already active.
Sir, but how did those
H4.
those two pawns
He
made
should
a pass
probably-
pawn instead of those?
Sir, he
Yeah.
should probably resign.
He played h. The pawn was on h6. When did that happen?
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't know when it happened, but yeah, he played pawn forward, and now h2, and then pawn forward. Sorry, now pawn forward, and Shaurya promoted to a queen.
Why did you have to play h6?
Sir,
Because Aryan, he
H6?
will make it into a rook.
No, h6 was played before. I don't know when it was played. I must have made a mistake in moves. So at some point, h6 was already played.
Or maybe
Who was saying? Praneeth was saying something? No, who was saying?
Sir,
Ashley.
if Aryan would have promoted, he would have promoted.
Yeah. He would still be winning, but I don't know. Will you be winning if you promoted to a rook? I'll play pawn and 5, and it's not clearly winning because there'll be 2 pass pawns. So would you have promoted to a rook if it was your game?
I would
You would have promoted to a rook. Okay.
Sir, I would promote because I want to do it for practice.
Practice for what? You want to win the game, na?
For like rook and kings.
So you even if you don't win the game, it's okay. You got practice, so are you happy? Is that what you're saying?
What is that?
The primary purpose is to win a game, na? When you're playing. Practice comes when you play. So if you win, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, just queen f3 and start picking up the pawns. That's what Shaurya does. Huh? Huh? Yeah, anything, play anything. Just
Don't
pick
pick
up the
up the
pawn.
pawns, it'll be a stalemate.
Behind, why are you so paranoid? If you are going to avoid stalemate, give your opponent a square to move. Why do you have to worry about the pawns? The pawns will promote now. So how can you just go and give checkmate when your opponent's pawns are running down? So take the pawns, give checkmate. That's how you win the game. If a pawn is just 2 steps away from winning, of course you have to go and take it. It's not like it's stuck here. Then no need to take the pawn. Here the pawn is on g6, so you got to take it. Stalemate? Why are you so worried about stalemate? Because you gave a stalemate to Shaurya in a winning position. You have to check whether your opponent has a square at all times during the endgame. That's the simple solution. Not what Aryan Khanna does.
even if-
Promote to a rook and avoid stalemate. That's not the solution.
Sir, even if the king
Yeah, white
cannot
is pawns.
square the pawns.
Yeah, when there are pawns, there's no problem. This pawn can move. Anyway, so queen took the pawn, king moved to b2, and he took the other pawn as well. And now let's see how Shaurya finishes. a4. Shaurya can take 1%, but why bother? Yeah, he gets another queen. King moves. He pushes. Kavish waits. He pushes. Oh, now he brings the queen. That makes it easy for the checkmate because now just push. Kavish doesn't resign. He moves the king.
Oh. He hopes Shaurya.
I think
Push.
he'll
King d1.
make it
And
into Sir, it'll be straight like
Rook.
how will it be stale? It's a check. How will it be stalemate when it's a check, Praneeth? What logic is this?
Rook.
You're giving a check to your opponent and it's stalemate. You haven't even understood stalemate yet?
Promote a rook.
Yeah, if you promote a rook also, it's checkmate. Yeah.
So what if somebody promotes a bishop? So we need the chess achievement.
That's probably what Aryan would do. Promote to a bishop. That'll, yeah, Veer Vikram will find more practice there by promoting to. No, but yeah.
So we
Yes.
need the chess achievement, so we need the killer rook, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a checkmate from the rook.
We
So,
need
alright.
killer rook.
So, now